Hey everybody, it's Greg and it's another edition of Unbreakable the podcast. And it is Thursday, August 15th. Uh, I think the boys heard me last night because the Phillies came out and they looked like a different team. They stopped trying to hit home runs and they put the ball in play. They hit a lot of drives and they ended up beating the stinking fish, the Miami Departments, 9-5. Everybody chipped in. And if you watch the game, the boys were hitting line drive all over the place. Bryce Harper actually doubled, one on the left field line, one on the right field line. Stan had a couple of hits, and Marsh had a couple of hits. And that's what you did. You don't try to hit no runs and sweeps and run. You hit the ball hard, and you get more base, and that's what you do. You have rounds and thank you, boys. Thank you for listening to this today. And I ran it and raved on this five broadcast. And speaking of which, there's our patron saint, Bud by himself, the tongue man. There he is. We miss you, Bud, and we love you. So, I'm glad to see hopefully the Phillies will be back on track. They have 4 days with the Nationals starting today. And let's see what happens, right? Let's see if we keep going. Good news. Good news. I come to you today with good news. And March of Easter and a pop. Yes, I passed it. No, I wasn't delusional. No, I wasn't dreaming that I was actually I was good. And I passed it yesterday. And I feel better. And, I wasn't, sometimes with these symptoms, like, I'm looking at it was black people. I want to tell you, anybody needs that. It's better. So, but I passed a little bit, and, it's on the way to the doctor as we speak, we put in a little baggie, and, it was on the TV. It was on the TV in the living room for and so I was thinking, would that be something if somebody came, we had a visitor, and they'd come in the door, and they'd see this body in the room, I go and say, ooh, what is this? And they get my shield. Little would they know that it was a kidney stone that came out of my what? Yeah. Anyway, so that's one thing you have to be thankful for. So that's one. That's that. Goodbye, peace. Until the next one. Okay. Now, before you ask, yes, I did name this farm as I gave all my previous days. And the past children I had were Big Gator, Rocky, and this one I decided to name Dagger. Sort of the claim of Vietnam. That's the Vic Jagger. I renewed stove the cane. This is a new stove. So Vic Dagger. Is this one felt like a fire of a building? Anyway, I hope you can hear me better. Thanks to my friend out there that she used Mateo. Said I had some bug problems. So I hope I fixed it. If not, we're going to talk to the Geek Squad this afternoon. And the geeks are going to help me out there, and from one geek to another. And so, then hopefully you'll be actually hearing me soon. All 2 of you listen to me and watch me. Anyway, so other than the Phillies, the Eagles play tonight. There you go. Eagles second preseason game. They're playing up in New England against those stinking cheating Patriots. I know that happened like 20 years ago, but still. So, the Eagles did beat the Ravens last week, and I don't care if it's preseason or not. You still want the boys to play well. So let's have them go out up to New England and put it to those pants. Right? I was thinking of a TV show. It's going to be a little informal little classic TV show. Not a formal one where I do all the research and blah, blah, blah. and talk for like 3.5 hours. No, this is an informal one. So I was thinking of this show the other day, and I wonder if you guys remember the show. And if you don't, you ought to look it up. I want to get a petition going. Anyway, PBS should buy the rights to the show. Are you listening to TV Channel 12, WHYY here in Philadelphia? You should buy the rights to the show I'm going to talk about and put it on at midnight every night. And I bet you to get a big audience. The college crowd will discover this show and watch how it takes off. The show was Dark Shadows. Do you remember Dark Shadows? You guys old enough like me remember Dark Shadows. Dark Shadows was a soap opera that had a horror theme. It came on in 1968 or so, late 60s, lasted to like 71. And Dark Shadows was on every day, like at 4 o'clock. You would get home from school and you'd rush to get home from school so you could watch Dark Shadows for happened. And it was about this family in Collinsport, Maine. They lived in this big, scary haunted mansion. And the Collins family, they were really like weird and quirky, like sort of like the family of one of our political people. We're not going to talk about that. Okay, so here's the deal. The Collins family, really, really weird. And, the first 11 months of the show, it was like a basic soap opera. The guy who created Dark Shadows, his name was Dan Furness, and he had a dream. He had a dream about the show, and he was a producer, and he got the okay from ABC to develop the show. Now, it was only going to be like a regular soap opera. Soap operas back in the 60s were pretty big business, like Guiding Light, Secret Storm, As the World Turns, General Hospital. So they planned to have this soap opera on ABC called Dark Shadows. Well, nobody was watching it because it was a really boring, stupid show. And it was like out of the 13 soap operas on at that time during the day on the networks, it ranked like number 12 or 13. Nobody watched the damn thing. What they did was then the producer, Dan Clares, came up with an idea. He said he always wanted to do a show about a vampire and ghosts and stuff. So he introduced a vampire into the show. His name was Barnabas Collins, and he was played by a Canadian actor named Jonathan Friend. And what happened was there was a handyman who worked for the Collins family, and he was a little off. And he knew the Collins family was very rich, and they had a lot of jewels that were buried with ancestors. So this guy, he looked up the Collins mausoleum on the grounds of where the mansion is. They had the big mansion, and then they had a little place down the path called the Old House. The Old House used to be like the mansion, like when people lived there, like in the 1700s. But it's now dilapidated and broken down. Well, anyway, this guy named Willie Loomis, the handyman, was a little crook too. So he went and he said, you know what? He heard about the history of the Collins family, how they buried all their jewels with their deceased. He said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and look up some of these guys. I'm going to steal their jewelry. So he did, but you know what? He got into trouble because he played with the wrong one. He opened the coffin of this one guy, Barnabas Collins, the S Collins family. And Barnabas, I'll never forget it. When I saw this, I may have pulled my pants. I don't know. I figured it. But we had this scary music. And then all of a sudden, he unchains the coffin in the cellar of the old house, and a hand comes up. It grabs him by the head. Now you know. And that introduced Barnabas Collins. Barnabas Collins went to the Auditing family and said, I'm your long lost cousin from England. I'm here to get a deal. He did. I don't know. And he said he's a successful businessman. He was a vampire. Make a long story short. Vampire, not seen during the day. His excuse was he works very, very hard during the day. Don't bother me. Don't come around. He asked if he could live in the old house. They let him live in the old house. And his vampire works about it. That was the basic premise of Dark Shadows. That how they all kinds of ghosts were introduced, werewolves, witches. It was just a scary, kind of a cool show. And it wasn't, you had your basic soap opera premises, like, well, woe is me, all kinds of soap operas, crap, but then it blended into supernatural and all this harm, but they're tired. And all of a sudden, Barnabas was only supposed to be like a 13-week thing, and then just pick up the ratings and everything. But he was so popular, and all of a sudden, Dark Shadows zoomed up to like #1 in the daytime that they kept Barnabas on, and they started writing storylines for Barnabas. And Barnabas became this cult favorite, especially among college kids. And that gives me the idea, PBS, 12, WHYY, pick up this show, because chances are, unless you're an old codger like me, you haven't seen the show, because it's been on the Sci-Fi Channel and stuff, but inconsistently. So if you show this Dark Shadows every night at midnight when it's appropriate to put it on, you put the lights out, you can watch Dark Shadows for half an hour every night, and then you can rest easy, go to bed. But then, I'm just saying, I think it would be pretty cool. So I'm hoping they bring it. If not, maybe you can find it somewhere. I know the entire DVD collection is out there somewhere. But you gotta watch, gotta get certain episodes where Barnabas is involved. Pre-born Barnabas sucks. Do not get it. After Barnabas, well, Barnabas goes on to the end when Dark Shadows was canceled, the ratings for the toilet. They started getting a little crazy. The best shows are when of course, I'm a fan of time travel. So they have one storyline where Barnabas goes back in time to the 1700s and tries to save. It was a very romantic soap opera. Tries to save his love from remember the Salem witch trials. That's mixed in there too. It's just a great show. You gotta check it. You gotta check it. So, Dark Shadows. There's our mini classic TV show. There you go. Okay, well, I think that's about it. I hope you guys were able to hear me today. Just think, I've done about 350 episodes where you probably couldn't hear me very well. And I was like, but you watched anyway. Some of you did, right? So, so thank you very much. I hope you get the mic fixed. I hope in the future you can do it better. Because I do have some exciting things coming up on the show soon, but I can't tell you that. So, okay. So, everybody have a great day. Peace and love. Now, you'll be in a quandary tonight because you got the Eagles are on at 7 o'clock in New England. And then you've got the Phillies on at, I think, 6:40 tonight, playing the Washington Bats. So, do what I do. I'm going to channel surf, go back and forth. Some people have split screens so they can watch too, but I can't do that because I can just watch one thing at a time. What the hell? So, so I'm going to change back and forth. It's a good thing to do. I think that's what you should do too. It's going to be a big sports night here in Philly. Okay, cheers, everybody. I know, barged water there. Now that I have my kidneys down out of my body, I can drink and drink and I can just chug and chug and chug. Just, I feel like a newbie. Goodbye, Dagger. Hello, happiness. All right, everybody, I'm rambling. Take care. See you soon. Bye for now. Peace and love. Bye.